Mic check. Mic has been checked. Where do we want to start? Knock, knock. Anybody home? Anybody home out there? Looks like there's some people in here. We can start on Bitcoin unless somebody wants to start on something else. I don't know. Let's go to that Coinbase chart we were cooking on yesterday. So didn't get the long first. Didn't get the long first. All right, well, whatever. Let's just work with this. Let's just work with this. Nope, never mind. I want to go back to Bybit. I don't know why, but I want to go back to Bybit. All right, so all that liquidity has been addressed. We got all that stuff left below us still. What was the 4-hour telling us again? Four-hour was telling us that structure broke bearishly here. And so one should expect a higher or lower high for a lower low. That seems fair. Let's see what else is developed in here. A little bit of an inside bar order block. Let's pick on this area here. Between 104.870, 104.178, this area here. I would say that would be, for me, what represents the area where the, what am I trying to say? I would say this is where the longs were filled, that broke this high, that formed this inefficiency. That's what I'm trying to say. So, as far as, if we are not going to come back for, like this low, and this low, and this low, and this low, and this low. If we are not going to come back for those, and we are instead going to come for something like this high, you get the point, that one up there. Well, then I would suggest that that should occur here. Break. Retest. Something along those lines. Or let's get some of this other stuff. Let me let me get this off of here. I don't want to look at that anymore. Let's replace that with this. That's cleaner. Get this dot out of the way. Yeah. Or I'm like a or this. I would prefer in that demand there. No, see, I was saying I don't like the or this. We hit it once, rolled up. Let's get down to the lower time frame. We hit that level once, rolled up, kind of back into orb or, generally speaking, this range that we had fallen out of this morning. So if it was going to work, I don't think it should have come from whatever this is, previous day high, Tuesday's high. I don't think it should have come from Tuesday's high, pushed up, and then came back for the low to push up again. I don't suspect that's going to be the case. I suppose it's always possible, because that would create a believable break in structure for me. If you came down, let's get rid of this line for right now. I don't want to look at it. If you came down and took this low one more time, where's that shift button? There we go, fingers. If we did come down and take that one more time and then come back up and break this high, okay, the rest of the stuff has to go away now. I can't with any of it. It's got to go. And then come back and break this high. That would look pretty believable, in my opinion, for a run on this high. But it would need to take this low, and then it would need to break this high. And then that would look pretty believable for a run on that high. But I think I would still be interested in shorting this high if we return to it. And that's just due to the 4-hour market structure and the liquidity below us still. Yeah. Yep, yes sir. Yep, yes sir. That's where I'll be at with the Bitcoins. Let's see, let's back out a little bit because I think we still had some other trades planned. They're all on the Coinbase chart, apparently. They're all on the Coinbase chart. Still looking for a long out of the 102, 128 area. Still looking for a long out of the 97, 948 area. Still looking for a short on the all-time high. Yeah, what are you guys going to talk about? Anthony Soprano, what's up, man? You know, the tracking cam, it's really just my iPhone. That's all it is. It's just my iPhone. It's just Apple has, that's just like a feature that Apple has. Their continuity camera feature just turns your phone into a camera and has head tracking. Like magic. Anthony, I hope you're well, buddy. Hope you're well. Mr. Tony Soprano. What do you guys want to look at? Let's go in the meantime. Let's go look at some other stuff. Good afternoon, Dex. Well, our pending 4-hour break on Total 3 doesn't look like a break to me. Looks like an SFP. Lame. I suppose that probably means ETH hit that little circle that we put on the chart yesterday. Let's go take a look at that. Sure enough, did. It's incredibly obvious T8. No, I'm sorry. I just remember drawing this little thing when I came to the chart yesterday, so that did clean up this stuff. And looks like a potential SFP of this range. But the same thing would go for ETH. That and you remember, hold on, before I delete this. So like we were looking at some of this stuff internal yesterday, and I was like, man, I don't know. It's just not a high confidence play to me because we have liquidity on both sides. And I am not smart enough to know it. Well, I mean, sometimes I know which one's going to be swept first, but yesterday wasn't one of those days. And it came for the top side. But anyways, what I was going to say is pretty similar to BTC in the event that we are not coming for this and this and this and this and this. In the event we are not coming for those, well, then I would suggest that we should probably lift out of this area right here. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this stupid thing. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Let's readjust this to here. Let's maybe, will this work for me? Will it work? It's ugly. I don't like it. We're just gonna do it like that. Put that on there. Bum 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 bum. Oh yeah. I would indeed say that this is the high that created this low. I mean, it's in contention for it. it's in contention for it. Yeah, 'cause that's what broke that low. Yeah, anyway, so if ETH were to come up from here, I think it should be from where it is at. Obviously, I would prefer if this, I'm just grabbing random charts too, so you guys feel free to interrupt me. I wouldn't feel any different about it than I feel about Bitcoin. I would still prefer for it to grab that low and then break this high. And then I would say you could probably look at peeling that stuff off, potentially this guy off. And then if you can break and initiate above this guy, I think there was something else on the chart we could come for. Yeah, if you break and initiate above this guy, especially after doing a break here, a mitigation, a break again, then I think you have every opportunity to get up probably at least to 2626 prior to attempting something like that. HK Biostock. That sounds sweet. What's ticker? HK Space Bio? Maybe no space? Maybe we hit, well, we're not going to find it in fucking crypto. Dex, I want to help you, but I don't know if I'm getting the ticker here. HK. Oh, it's just 2269. I don't know. Says yeah. I guess is it. I guess is it. Biostock, huh? Okay. Hmm. Hmm. So it looks like they got to, essentially enjoy a Uh, a 900% move up in value on the asset at, right at the beginning of COVID-19. And then what do we have here? July 21. So near the peak of, mass hysteria. They kind of top out here. And then the asset has fallen in price since then. So I don't know. I mean, like from a fundamental level, I just this looks like a COVID-19 cash out. That's what that looks like to me. And you broke monthly structure, which charts don't often do that. That's not often that they break monthly structure. But this one did it, and then it back tested into that prior range before falling to a new low. And could not clear this guy. Prior to falling to a new low, which means that this is still an incredibly shortable area, in my opinion. I know it's probably a mile away, probably 10 country miles away. That zone between 52 and 35. And then we get down into here, and I worry whether we developed a range and SFP'd the high of it. So let's drop to the daily chart. Brutal. Brutal. Okay, so we have an unfilled gap up here. That's a slightly bullish thing, in my opinion. We have a slightly bullish thing up there, but after sort of cascading below this low right here, we formed another supply range. When we hit that supply range, we double top into it. Hey, Magnet, bro, love and hate you. Love and hate you. So we double top into that and come flying down, forming another fair value gap on the chart here. And then we come back up and grab the high one more time. Right? Am I tripping? All right, Magnet, need you back, homie. That's not even the tool I want. This is fine. Just give me this. And then we come back and we SFP the high again. Not good. Not good. I'd say you don't lose daily market structure until 22.95. At which point I would say you're coming for this low down here at 16.20. I'm really not bullish on the asset until above 52.45. I see a lot of liquidity below us. See lots of liquidity down there below us. This SFP on a triple top now looks a lot like a distribution, and it bear flagged into the distribution, or rather into the high of the distribution. Let's check the 4. 4 is technically losing structure. It's not a really confident break yet, but it is technically losing structure nonetheless. That is a 4-hour candle close below the prior 4-hour low. What do I want? The one that says bear. Yeah. I would say you have a pretty high probability of achieving this on the chart before achieving that. I don't know if we need to go any further than that. I mean, like, I think I'd still be interested in a shorting a fill of this fair value gap. If you could get up there. Because it's like, like, as far as a local position, it's like you just got down to your 4-hour low. So on a 4-hour chart, in my opinion, you're in absolute discount. I don't like shorting in discount. I don't like shorting in discount. Right down, you down yonder. I would feel a lot more comfortable shorting closer to this, like the premium of this local range here on the 15. I'd feel, well, actually really the 50% line and above. This is more the type of area I would want to short, because you both have supply on the chart right there, and you're getting out of discount of this range at least. Because let's face it, if you come back and you break this high on the 15-minute at 25.40, well then you're flipping your 15-minute structure back to bullish from this high to this low. If you come back and break that, then your structure is now bullish, and we're probably going to trade up into the fair value gap, or maybe even attempt that high. So as far as local position goes, I'm not long on this, but I would look to I'd look to short between 25.40 and 24.60. for the aforementioned reasons. Oh yeah, we're gonna take a look at that 7 CD. CD project 7 CD. All right, I'm here now. I don't know if this is what I'm seeing is based on me not paying certain amount of money to see this. I don't know what this I don't know what that's all about. Let's start on the monthly chart though. Now monthly chart on this looks hot, hot. It looks pretty good. I mean, technically speaking, this is not a monthly break, but we know it's a weekly break. We know that. We know that for sure. Yeah. It's a weekly break with a back test on the prior range. That looks pretty good. I mean, maybe, there's some wick supply up here. Maybe. I mean, I'll tell you, I think that's the only thing. Hold on, because there's what? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Where am I? Yeah, I'd say that zone between 82 and 70 is probably the only thing holding us back from taking out these semi-equal highs right here. Let's see. So we got initiation above 4689. We have nice upwards posturing weekly market structure. But looking at let's see here. Oh yeah, because even on this very last weekly range, we may have already performed our back test. So let's drop to the daily. Yeah, it looks pretty decent on the daily. So you essentially have all daily bullish candles after an interaction of the previous high. So it does not look hateful there. Let's go to the 4-hour and see when this chart really starts to fall apart for me. Getting pretty close. Getting pretty close. Yeah, I would say you not only back tested the prior range, but you hit a 4-hour order block. I'd say the high is looking pretty weak at this time. Probably would want an initiation above this high. And then I would want to measure where that high stops. And I would want to be... obviously I have no idea if this high is going to initiate or if it's going to stop there. But I'm just theory crafting here. Yeah, I would want my initiation, mitigation, continuation. Ideally, getting back down halfway. I mean, it's not gonna. I don't know if you're gonna be lucky enough to get back down into discount after it sets a new high. I don't know if it'll come back for discount, but I'd like it to retrace like half of the way from this high relative to this low. That's what I mean by half the way. From wherever that high stops relative to this low, I'd like it to retrace half the way, which means that the only exception of that would be is if the high stopped all the way up here. Then I would want it to retrace at least to the previous high here. Yeah, and there's nothing suggesting that anything major bearish is going to happen in this zone. I'm just simply saying the zone exists on the chart. I have no idea if it's a zone that's going to get defended. But yeah, I would say it looks pretty healthy, man. Looks pretty healthy. You can't lose daily market structure until $50. So you got a lot of protection below you, in my opinion. And that's actually where you'd lose weekly market structure as well. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of protection to the south, and there's some resistance to the north. But let's go take a closer look at it. Let's go take a closer look at it and see if there's anything in there that really seems more problematic. Yeah, so you look at it on these lower time frames and not so much, man. Maybe on the 4. I mean, these candles don't print well for whatever reason. I'm not too worried about it. But it's like you broke your 4-hour market structure here. I guess that is pretty poor mitigation into the prior one. I don't know. There's nothing in here that really lights up and says major concerning supply. I think there's some resistance there, but I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, currently in a no touch zone for me. I see that it's in this uptrend. But as far as its local range goes, it's in the premium, which is just a no touch zone for me. I can't because I want to long it. So like at this point I only have really one choice: failure on the high, lose some structure, maybe entertain a short inside of this range. Then outside of that, I need to see it back down into the discount of this range or interact with the low of the range, or I need to see it initiate up and then come back down in and look for the back test long. So I don't have anything I can do about it here. Nope, I don't have nothing I can do about it there. I liked where the drawings were before. Yeah, there we go. Boom, 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 boom. Alex Crypto snuck in here. Looking for $80. Yeah, I don't, like I said, this zone is all of this zone represents for me is just, I'm just looking left and I'm going, is there anything over here that is even remotely worrying? And I think it was on, what was it, on the weekly chart? It was just a wick up there, and a wick to me represents trap traders, right? Like price spent so little time here that obviously it came up, and obviously it filled shorts, right? Like you can tell that in hindsight, and so a lot of trap traders inside of that wick. That's where the shorts got filled from this prior breakdown. But again, that's a big fat question mark. Let structure lead the way. All right, what else do we have? What's Bitcoin doing? Yeah, seems to be filling up the old Gapperoonie still. Hey, bruh, get on the damn wick, bruh. Whatever, you get it. I don't know why I insist upon drawing all these stupid things, but yeah. What else? What else we got, guys? I guess there's only 8 people in here. I shouldn't ask too much of you guys. Maybe you really don't have that much you want to look at. All right, well, let's go look at some shit I want to look at then. I want to look at XRP as always. Hmm. Hmm. Did it really SFP that high? I mean, I think it's coming for all the lows, but I'm just very curious if it actually nicked this thing. Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, it still seems like it wants all this stuff, though. Yep. Yep. All right. Well, that's a boring chart. That chart be boring. Anything doing any crazy moves today? Not so much. What's the AD's A's up to? No, no, no. Ooh. Yikers. Well, that supply worked a hell of a lot better than demand did, huh? New low. So, yeah. There's your fucking problem right there. Well, come on, man. Come on, man. Is that high still weak? Nope. No, it is not. All right, so X marks the spot. Maybe we can get down to the cherry zone. Yeah, that's not very cherry. Take everything back about that. Change template, please. Happy to call it demand, but I'm not happy to call it a cherry zone. Brutal. Brutal. Ooh. Fartcoin. I haven't done that one in a couple weeks, I feel like. Whatever happened to that thing? Where did it go? Hmm. Hmm. Boy, it doesn't seem. Why are we all the way back down here? Well, because everything's taking a shit, I suppose. Boom, 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 boom. I guess you do have a break, so the lower high and the lower low doth make sense. And we did still have this unmitigated range below us. Well, here's some things we can say. We can say that this would be a pending break of your 4 to 8 hour structure back to bullish. Boom. Leg of price from here to here, still intact on the 8 hour. No new information there. Let's drop to the 4. Where did that come down to? Nothing I'm interested in. No new information on the 4 to 2 hours where we see our first break of structure of the leg of price from here to here. Is that where we ended up remitigating? Okay. This is unmitigated, but then again, we have to have bullish structure to get there. Okay, so we have, we're very likely to break that low, confirming new supply here. This is like kind of a primary target for this idea. Could trade lower. This would be the home run zone on that idea. Yeah, I mean, this is what I'd primarily be after. This would be like the home run shot. How's it been doing on Rimsey? So it missed this piece, but it did not miss the overall range that you lost. It got that in a fairly ugly way, but it got it. And then we broke this range, and we did retest that. So Rim C overall has been working pretty good. I think I would look for a retest of the zone between. Let me make sure that's on there appropriately. 99 cents and $1.05. Is that what that zone is? $1.06 and 99.16. I think that's where I'd be looking for a retest into this zone for a lower high and a lower low, and my primary target would be 86 cents. And yeah, and then if you break 1.05, this thing, then I'd start hunting for longs, and I would target up to 121. All right, so in the event that we were to come back and break this high, I would look for long up to there. But in the interim, I'm just kind of hoping that this continues to crawl up here, maybe grabs onto this guy, and then breaks that guy, that kind of thing. Or here, or here.
You down here?
I sure am down here. Sorry. Sorry, give me just one moment. I don't know where the mute button is. I lost it. What time is it then? Oh, okay, I got a little bit of time. Yeah, but just generally speaking, I'm just talking like a retest back into supply. There's all kinds of little things in here that I could pick on, but I wouldn't sweat it too much. I wouldn't sweat any of that too much. I would just hope that you can form upwards only structure and that you can see that structure fail. That would be the most ideal way to look at it. Personal opinion. That's what I think about your fart coin. What else do we want to do? I want to check on Doge and Sol, see if I have some time to do that. Let's take a peek at this again. Okay, so we have filled the gap now. So it turns out I got myself into a real nice short this morning. That's a real nice short. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm super happy with that. Okay. Doge and Sol. What's this giant blue box? Oh, it's already been touched. Oh, I see the mistake I made. I was, back in the day we were saying if we could push above this high here, that we could potentially look to trade up into this supply before retracing back to newly formed demand before forming a new high. But I see where I messed up. I wasn't looking high enough time frame, I think. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what my problem was. Let's delete a bunch of stuff. I always like to find where I make my mistakes. Very important to me. That indeed was not a break. And I was thinking it was a break because I got stuck on lower time frames. That twas not a break. That was an SFP that brought you right back to the low, didn't it? Yeah, that low doesn't look like it wants to hold. So cool. So Doge is looking a little rough. Looking a little rough, my guy. You was looking a little rough here, homie. Yeah, I don't like it on the weekly or the daily or the monthly. What's the 3-day tell me? Oh, that's been touched. Touched. I don't like that. No. Man. I think I'm just gonna be following the structure on this one for a little bit because I am not liking anything underneath us for support. I mean, literally outside of this low. That's the only thing I like. That's the only thing I like. Unfun. All right. What happened to Soul? What happened to you, big dog? It's kind of still in that area from yesterday that I wanted to short. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the better entry was here. This supply number confirmed yesterday. It was just a range rotation. And the short was here. Okay, so Soul is likely to smoke that low. Down there. Should we look for a long there? Nah, I don't think we should look for a long there. No, I don't. Nope. Oh, yeah, we got another green line connecting to that green line. Nope. Yeah, we going down there. Yep. Yep. Ew. Looks like absolute hogwash. Looks like absolute hogwash. Ave got pumped since. Do you think we still go down to 237? Let's take a look. Did Ave get the pump? No, Ave don't look so good to me, man. Ave don't look so good to me. So yeah, I think we do still get down to 237. Let's drop our 15. Well, we'll get an answer here pretty soon, actually. At least there's that. So let's get this. Let's just get this box out of the way. I don't want to look at it. So let's see here. Well, that is not a perfect looking piece of supply. It's just not perfect because the highs don't touch. We hit that, and then we break our 15-minute market structure right here, forming new supply, much better supply than the previous supply. Could not clear that area. So I reckon if you lose your 15-minute market structure again, which we are just now poking below that low, that I think there's a high possibility that it kind of trades in this perfect world stuff. So I said high possibility. That was an overstatement. Um, that was an overstatement. What I would like it to do is a better statement. Is like probably initiate below this low, grab onto some demand, come back into supply, and then come down and knock this low out. That's what I would prefer for it to do. But yeah, I'd still be targeting down into those areas. Hard to refine that stop loss. I need to see what structure looks like as we come back through there. But yeah. Yeah, see, it needed to break this high to be bullish. It needed to break 265, and it didn't do that. Hasn't done it yet anyway. I mean, is it possible to SFP this low and break this high and then run that? Yep, still possible. Is it possible to hit this demand and then break this high and then run this high? It's possible, but you'll be under bearish 15-minute market structure. So I think unless you were to develop more 15-minute market structure and break that 15-minute market structure, then I would say you could probably run this. But if you did something different where you came down into here and then formed upwards only 15-minute market structure and then lost that, I would say that that is a very clear indication that you're coming down to 248. So yeah, I don't think my opinion changes too much on Abe there. God, are we still just bleeding out? Is Bitcoin still bleeding out? Mm. IK Rumba's my man. IK Rumba. Let's see what I pulled off here. Well, I only have a few minutes left, so let's I gotta wrap things up. If anybody has any final questions, holler at your boy, and I'll see if I can answer those real quick before I head out. Yeah, yeah. I'll see if I can do that. I am rich, but that doesn't mean I have a lot of money. I have enough money to meet the needs of my family, but I'm not rolling in money, though I am insanely rich. Yes, I'm just not insanely wealthy. Those are two very different things. Two very different things indeed. So how did the orb perform today? I'm going to re-investigate that. Because I think it performed pretty well today, didn't it? $6.15, $6.30. Yeah, orb performed pretty well today, but not so great yesterday. Orb was not overly handy for me yesterday. Yeah. Yeah, that's how they say it's supposed to work. But I don't always do that in my perspective. All right. Well, no more questions from you guys. Then I'm gonna wish you a really good day. Plan from yesterday changed slightly, but not like a ton. you know, as warned yesterday, there was liquidity above us. There was liquidity below us. We were looking short here and long down in here. That's what we was doing, my man. That's what we was doing. That's what we was doing. So that's what I was doing. Yeah, that was the plan, and I just tried to stick to the plan. Is it likely that we get to 100K on this move? Yeah, close. I'd say pretty close. I mean, like, let me put it this way: this demand block here is a 4-hour, or this demand zone here is a 4-hour order block that sits on the tip of this low. It gives us an opportunity to purge this low, deviate this range, and hit demand and possibly lift. The only thing I will tell you is everything is always, it's, for me, it's easy to pick a zone. Easy to pick a zone, easy to pick a zone. The relevant things are, to me, is what does your return to zone look like? What does your return to zone look like? So like let's hypothesize this position right here. And I'm making stuff up, but I'm going to draw market structure from this high to this position here. We're just theory crafting, right? Let's say that we had some range of price and that we came up above it and then we came back down below it and then we retested it and then we slammed down into that low. And so price now, right here, has achieved this position. We're just hypothesizing here. Well, my return to zone looks terrible. And my zone is this, right? When I say zone, it's like return to what a target would be if you were longing it, right? This return to zone looks terrible. Is even if I see price pulling up from this low, I can't even break structure bullishly until clear up here. And in this theoretical example, I can't break structure bullishly until like above equilibrium and starting to approach premium. That's my first market structure break. That is a poor return to zone in my opinion. And I'm referencing this example because of the verticality of this candle. It's just purely a concept, right? Whereas if you had a return to zone that looked more like this, price was ranging, it comes up, grabs this liquidity, and then it starts coming down in this manner. And now this is our zone that we want to return to because we're looking to long, right? We're looking to long. Now, if I see prices now hit the zone that we were looking for, my return to zone looks way better in this circumstance. I'm able to actually change market structure at this point, and all of these previous supply ranges have already been mitigated. So like in this theoretical example here, this supply range had already been mitigated by this high. So the moment that price is to return, let's move this back up to this high, is to return and break this high, forming new demand. then I already have really early indication that demand is in control, because demand has already directly overtaken supply. In the previous example, you cannot make this case, right? So I'm just talking about that because I have a feeling that you're asking about the 100K, and price may be down in a zone like that before the end of the day, but be very careful of your approach to, or what your return to zone will look like. Be very careful of that. Careful of the return to the zone. All right. Morning, Luke. You caught me just as I was leaving. Adios, amigos. Dude, you left your sister upstairs again. I'm beginning to think that you're a very inconsiderate dog. Adios, guys.